A lot of talk, surprisingly, was surrounding Goldberg with WrestleMania 32. Maybe he's being one of the guys to have a name to come in and sort of give WrestleMania 32 a big buzz. There was definitely talk when Ryback changed his attire that Ryback was going to be the new Goldberg, and maybe Ryback would fight Goldberg at WrestleMania. When the news broke that Undertaker was going to be wrestling somebody that was not on the roster, I guess it turned out to be Shane McMahon, but at the time, people were trying to name people who were not involved with TNA, that were not under contract to WWE, and the names were pretty slim, and Goldberg was one of the names out there that could have been brought in as a free agent, and I can't believe it. I mean, I really haven't really thought about Goldberg in WWE since WrestleMania 30, when I thought that Goldberg would be the guy to be going into the WrestleMania Hall of Fame. At this point in Goldberg's career, he hasn't wrestled since, I believe, WrestleMania 20, which would be 12 years ago. People are sort of scared about Shane McMahon getting in the ring with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. I'm at the point now of saying that I think Goldberg's career is done. Dave Meltzer mentioned on Wrestling Observer Radio that as of last week, Goldberg hadn't even been contacted by WWE. Everybody knows about the long-standing feud. Basically, Goldberg didn't make any friends in his time in WWE, and Dave has gone over the reasons why. Basically, Goldberg signed a very friendly contract to him where he didn't have to wrestle that many days, and as things started happening in the company, the year Goldberg signed with WWE, in Rock leaving and going to make movies and wasn't around as much as he thought he was going to be, basically Vince and Triple H started putting the pressure on Goldberg to wrestle more dates, to be on house shows, and Goldberg basically said, "That's not what my contract is for. That's not what I signed up for, and I'm not going to do it." And because of that, Vince has sort of always held a grudge against Goldberg, even to the point when the Goldberg announcer from UFC was going to sign and become the new voice of Monday Night Raw. He told him that he was going to have to change his last name because there was no way that he was going to have an announcer with the last name Goldberg. And at the end of the day, that was one of the reasons why Mike Goldberg ended up not signing with the company and ended up staying with UFC and being the voice of UFC for all these years. But I don't know. I think when Goldberg ever gets a call from WWE, I don't think it's going to be in-ring action. I think it is going to be going into the Hall of Fame. Definitely, they do have their headliner for this year in Sting. Definitely, I think the next year's headliner will be Daniel Bryan. But there will be a date when, the guy like Undertaker or a guy like The Rock or maybe Triple H, they're not ready to go into the Hall of Fame. They don't feel like their career is done. They're going to need to call a guy like Goldberg. So I think that Goldberg's day in WWE is coming. It's probably sooner than later, but I don't think it's going to be in-ring action.